Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. This one is about a visit after death. Sounds a bit strange. I didn't know how to name it, but it was like that. Started as a kind of normal, simple story, but then turned out to be something else. I had a problem with a tooth, and I was looking for alternatives in healing or treating that tooth problem because I wasn't content with the dentist. He had more or less ruined that tooth, and now he just wanted to pull it out, and that was all of his work of healing. To me, that sounded more like destruction, and I did not want to go that way, so I was looking for other possibilities. And while I was doing that, I talked to some of my friends about the tooth problem, and then one of my friends suggested a homeopath she knew, and she had very good experiences. He helped her cure various things psychically and even symptoms in the body. So I went there, was a very nice guy, and I think he was a good homeopath, but this was not my first experience with homeopath, and I know how this works because some of my friends in the mediumship trainment, they were on the path of learning and studying to be a homeopath. So I knew about this first kind of meeting, which is the whole anamnesis project, where they want to know everything and they ask questions you don't understand, like, do you feel hot when this and this? Oh, it's kind of strange to me, but I get it. It's kind part of the process. So he was doing that with me as well, because if your whole system or all the cells are filled with toxins or with information, so a glass that's full of water, you can't pull any remedy in. It can't work because the cell is already totally filled up with stuff, and you need to cleanse it or to purify it and empty it of false information to put in something like a remedy, something new, a new information, a helping and healing information. So we went through that whole process, and after a few weeks, I had at home a lot of little glass bottles, still half full with kind of globally or some fluid, and this from there and that from there. So I had ordered from all over the world special things that he wanted me to take as a supplement or for detox and so on. And he had this kind of system invented, um, how to proceed with the healing of his patients. So he had a lot of testing mechanisms, and he was working also with frequency and the Royal Rife frequency machines. That's a good thing because sometimes an organ just needs the right frequency because it's in the wrong frequency. And I just noticed that he was very euphoric, which is a good thing per se, but he was very euphoric about his system that his ego had created, and he was drawing kind of tables onto papers showing me, and he was testing me, and he really went kind of off on how my frequency is so high, and I wasn't just not interested in that. I wanted help for my tooth. And it doesn't help me to know whether I'm vibrating high at whatever kind of measurement or middle or wherever. I just wanted this tooth problem to be resolved. And I thought by myself, watching him in his euphoric, enthusiastic work with his own little system he had created for diagnosing and treating his patients, I just thought by myself, oh, there goes another one off on his ego. And there was no point saying that because who am I? And I already told you about these kind of 3 things of meta instruction I got. There is only your own things, your own matters, the only ones that are really important for you. Then the ones of the other, that is not for you, not to interfere, because you don't know your own soul plan. So how can you tell anyone else which soul plan? You don't know what to do, where to go, and what to do and what not to do. So that's kind of crazy that we're always interfering with other people's lives, telling them, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should leave this, you should let go of that, you know. That's interfering, and that's overriding the free will of the person. And the third things are the things of God, which he or she knows better to handle than we. And the only exception is when you're asked by another person, when they ask you for help or for your opinion, then you're allowed to speak. But without being asked, just casting onto someone, oh, I think you're going off on your ego with your own created system of treatment of your patients. No, that's to me against divine law. And there was just no point in time. He wasn't open, he wasn't asking, and he did not want to know. And I could not insert any kind of different viewpoints. So I accepted it as it was. I had my own perception, might have been wrong, who knows, you know, because I'm still working my things out, and sometimes I'm projecting, and I have to find out whether I'm projecting or it's a real perception, and we're all under that. So, okay. In the end, I paid a lot of money. I had a lot of unfinished remedies standing around in my home, and this tooth problem was still there. So I wasn't very content. And after a while, I asked him again, and I said, what about my tooth? That's still the same case, nothing changed. We did all this other work, but the tooth problem is still there. And well, we had to leave it there because he said, well, I did everything I could. I don't know any further. Sorry, I cannot help you any further, only unto this point. So I went away and looked for some other kind of help. And I think it was a few months later, I visited my friend again who recommended that homeopath. And she suddenly, while we were talking on the coffee table, you know, all kind of stuff, nothing special, she suddenly said, and oh, you won't believe it, my homeopath jumped out of his window and committed suicide. And I didn't get it, that it was that homeopath, the one she recommended to me. But after she said that, suddenly our conversation turned into a very strange direction, and I could feel that I was kind of nudged to say things I would normally don't say on the coffee table, even if this friend, she was a shaman as well, is open and to this kind of information. I was talking about leaving the body and the astral realms and things like that. And I felt some kind of a presence in the room, but because we were talking, I couldn't focus on that. And I did not really feel consciously some kind of need. I just felt there's somebody there, and maybe this person needs to hear what we are talking about, because it took this strange direction suddenly, talking about the great beyond and the steps over there and so and so. And then she said a second time, nearly at the end of the conversation, I don't get it why my homeopath jumped out of the window and committed suicide. You know, you have been to this guy also. And then it dawned on me, oh, she's talking about this homeopath, the one she recommended to me. Wow, and he committed suicide? Okay, and then it suddenly, slowly dawned on me that it was him, because she was talking about him. That's why he was present, because that's like a phone call to the astral. Just name the person dead and they are there. They feel kind of cold. And he needed to hear really some of these things I was talking about with my friend suddenly, in this strange changed direction of our conversation. And then I went home, and you won't believe it, but you better believe it. At night, he was on my bedside. I clearly recognized him. He looked the same like he looked in his life. That's not always the case. Sometimes the people present themselves as younger. Or I even had a stray dog who was rescued from some third world country by a client. And this stray dog presented himself to me as kind of like an Irish setter. You know, a beautiful dog with a wonderful long furry hair and things like that. And she couldn't place that when I thought, when I said to her, why am I seeing this Irish setter and this special kind of fur that the Irish setter has? And she said, no, he had very short hair, and he was a short, tiny dog, and a stray dog from Spain or somewhere, third world country or second world country, a rescue dog a stray dog from the streets. And then I got it, that kind of the dog wanted to please and show a better image, because maybe the dog itself felt kind of ashamed because of being just a stray dog. That's already some kind of a human trait, you know, to feel ashamed, because I know at the same time, that's a funny thing, although I'm digressing, sorry for that. I'm coming back to the story of the homeopath. A friend of mine, medium, also once went to a zoo with a family, and she couldn't refuse. And when she was in front of the cage of the hyena, the first thing she got from the hyena was, I am beautiful. Can you imagine that? And we all look at the hyena and think, that's an ugly animal. So judgment again, and the way how we judge and what are our criteria for beauty, that's very disputable, I think. But I think it's whatever the animal or the being looks like. If it has a self-loving attitude and is really presenting this not in an arrogant way, like, I am so beautiful and you are nothing, but the way, I am beautiful. Yes, everybody is beautiful. We all are beautiful. We're only trained and brainwashed to think, oh, this is no good, my hair, my this, my that. That's all kind of distraction. So, enough of distraction and digression, back to the homeopath. So he appeared beside my bed, and he just asked me one question. with no explanation before, like blah, blah, blah. He just asked me, "What was it?" And I knew what he meant. He wanted to know what I felt when I was in contact with him during our meetings in the homeopath practice, working on my tooth and everything else. That I thought he had got kind of trapped on the ego trap, with going totally off on his system that he created. And when I said, it's the ego, too much thought, and you're attached to your system, to your creation, your idea. And then he nodded and said, yes, yes, okay, thank you, I get it. And off he went like a rocket. So sounds maybe kind of strange, because it depends how you view that. I can get that some people would be kind of shocked or startled if the ghost of a dead person appears beside their bed and asks them a question they did not asked in the lifetime, and you did not respond during the lifetime of that person. And I really pondered on that and thought, maybe I did wrong. Should I have told him? But when I looked back over the memories of our meetings, there was no point open where I could have inserted something like a question or a short remark, in a friendly, positive way. There was just no point in time where I could have told him my perception, and he didn't want to know it at that time, and he did not ask for it. But after his death, however, suicide or not, I'm not judging that. He wanted to know, because he was on his soul path, even if he got attached too much to his ego with his creation system of diagnosing and treating patients. I still think no one and nothing is ever lost. That's what they tell me from the spirit world. So even on the other side, this guy knew where to go to and what to ask to get the information he needed. And if it was me, okay, I'm okay with that, no problem. If he could have got it somewhere else, also fine, wonderful. I sometimes, when I do my public demonstrations of mediumship in a nearby spiritual center, with people coming and paying a little low price for having 3 hours of channeling or mediumship messages demonstrating how that works, I can recognize that there are not only people in these events. I always get a lot of gray figures that are ghosts of deceased ones, who come to these kind of talks or demonstrations, whatever. If it is their theme and they need the information, they know where the places are and they go to, and they appear there in their astral body and suck in the information, because they need it. They need to understand that they are dead. Sometimes, if they did not know that, it's helping just to know that you are dead. And I remember this one wonderful thing I experienced in a workshop I did with my medium teachers. After my beloved husband deceased of cancer, I wanted to understand a little bit more about that, and I was doing a workshop about excarnation, how to leave 3D, how you leave this body and this realm. And my mediumship teachers, they did not do that workshop very often because they said, well, it's kind of a heavy theme, and many people are not free enough, even mediums, to handle this on a neutral basis. And so they also, more or less, during this workshop, said the same thing, like, what you need is always there, and if you can't find it within you and you're already left your body and are on the other side of the veil, there is always a chance to get the information and to get it right and to understand what it's all about. And we had this guy in the workshop about excarnation who was wow, what's the English word? I don't know that. He was a kind of paramedic in emergency cases, going out with these cars. You know, when an accident happened, they're going to the street and helping the injured persons. And he said at one point, well, it's kind of always frustrating when you come to an accident and the person is already dead. So, what can you do? Nothing. Just load them into, this case. And then my mediumship teacher brought up a kind of ritual from the Tibetans, and I really love that. She said, you know what the Tibetans do when a person is dead? They go close to the ear of the dead body and they talk, because the ear is the last sense that is leaving, and it's also one of the first to be built in the fetus. They talk into the ear and they say, more or less addressing the soul, you are dead now. Go courageously into the light. Lucky journey. All the best for you. Blessings. Something like that, you know, and then the soul gets the information, even if they didn't believe in anything during their lifetime and thought, well, I'm only have this life, and when I'm dead, then it's over. No, it is not. But to give the information like that, you know, the paramedic got off and he said, oh, wow, that's great. Now I know what I'm going to do next time I come to an accident on the street where there's already a dead body. And I can still help. I can help the soul with this information. So that's what I want to leave you with, although the story sounds maybe a bit strange. Don't have a negative view upon that. I want to leave you with that. Information is always there. So, no one is ever lost, nothing is ever lost. We can always get the right information. Just seek it. And like Rumi said, the famous and my beloved favorite Sufi, what you seek is seeking you. Thank you, beautiful souls, for watching. Have a good time. Blessings, love and light to you on your path. Bye.